I want to make it clear that I have used acid before this. My first time involved 100 micrograms and 3 hours spent in the black early morning jamming along to Grateful Dead's live Dark Star performances, clued into the magic brilliance that went into Jerry Garcia's note playing. I would revisit the substance a week or so later. A much smaller dose, somewhere around 50 micrograms, went along perfectly with those long drives I took across the Green Valley. Both of these trips, I'd say, were instrumental to my development, but I'd considered them more preludes to the first trip. August 24th, the birth of Michaela and the Acid Cats. I have trouble remembering the night in specifics, but my focus was on 2 songs, both so diametrically opposed from each other in terms of mood, I couldn't tell if I had picked one just to give myself a relief from the former. I had taken 150 micrograms, with the Grateful Dead as per usual taking control of my trip pretty quickly, guiding me through their lucid world with some of the best music I've ever heard. The 1977 May 28th performance of Terrapin Station got piped directly into my vinyl player's sound system, where it then coded me with colors from a journey I'd never even seen the map of. Several other performances were played that night. February 26th of the same year was visited just based on the fact it had the sacred Terrapin Station, performed to perfection before blossoming into the rest of the concert, fading into the background as my tired eyes tried to fall asleep, while the rest of me rocked and shook with the thunderous chords that signaled my return to Earth, right after one last climax. The Dead in 1977 knew they were on top of the world, and in each concert they showed that off with one victory lap after the other. Maybe it was this blinding light that kept driving me to revisit a song, one darker than the 3 a.m. sky. David Bowie's Lazarus made its appearance before my trip even began. I had started showing an interest in the song in the week leading up to trip number 1, but it was always from a distance, a passive, fascinated view that sought to admire the art while still preserving my own emotional security. I didn't allow myself to open up, and my interest began to fade soon enough. If this trip were to have never happened, I'd surely have forgotten about the song by now. That's not how things turned out, though. The exhausted, bleeding edge of those starting guitar chords found their way into my ears. Once, twice. Soon I lost count of how many times I had listened to the lyrics, or watched the video dissecting every little detail I could. I became obsessed with it. And at some point, as Donnie McCaslin's somber sax playing started up once again during the climax, it clicked. The tired, bleak, repetitive playing, how they melded together with the guitar into one melancholic beast. This was it. This was the song of a rich man who spent every dollar he had looking for a miracle cure. The atmosphere wasn't just a passing mood, but an unchangeable fact. This was the song of a dying man with so much power within him that by the end of the song it's shaking with energy, crying into its own solemn cityscape. The plea, "I'll be free," transforming into almost a cry of victory. David Bowie accomplished everything he wanted in life, and it shows. It's perhaps the only bit of solace in the entire song, stopping me from falling down fully into the pit of existential dread. I don't really know how to end this line of thought, though. Lazarus is such a complex beast, from the little details like the skull being shown more and more throughout the music video, and how it's filmed in this claustrophobic 1:1 aspect ratio, to the sax solo at the end which abruptly stops, only leaving David's guitar which strikes its occasional note. I feel safe in calling it one of the best songs of all time, but it really isn't something I should listen to every day. By the end of the trip, I was left with a sour, depressed taste on the back of my tongue, which only grew as the day went on and I expended more and more of my energy. and that's likely attributed to the fact that I listened to Lazarus a dozen times, and maybe also the fact that I didn't get to bed till 7. Acid's a hell of a drug. Anyway, stay catty, acid cats. I'll see you in the next one.